Hello, friends, and welcome to another Game Informer Mass Effect video. I am your host today, Alex Stadnick. Join with me, two of the best in the business, Kim Wallace, Liana Rupert. Thank you guys for being here. If you're just joining us, we did a impressions piece earlier today that you should definitely go check out. And because these two have seen Mass Effect Legendary Edition, but we wanted to hammer out one detail that I think people are kind of interested in right now, and the fact that Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which has been announced for May 14th, has almost everything a Mass Effect fan could want besides multiplayer, which I know is ruffling some feathers. And you guys actually got to talk to the devs, and no, it's not that, oh, devs are lazy, this blah, 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 none of that crap. There's a reason behind this, and I really want to get to the bottom of that. So if one of you want to take it away, I will sit peacefully here and listen.
I'll let Liana take the lead.
So we talked to Mac Walters, who's the director, and then we talked to Kevin Meek, who was the level and environmental artist. We actually have a story up on the website too. So if you want to see the full quotes and the full discussion that we had about this, there is that online as well. But yeah, I like what you said about it's not lazy, because I've noticed that's a big reaction going on right now, and it's a lot deeper than that. And I think what people don't realize is, and this is something that Walters told us, was that this remaster, like fans have been asking for this for years. They've been wanting to do this for years. He said that like pretty much as soon as Mass Effect 3 wrapped, they were talking about remastering the first game. So this is something that has been years in the making. It was never the right time. EA said, not now, not now. We will soon, not now. So when you get back with that timeline, there's a lot of things to consider when you finally get that green light. So when they finally got that green light, and we talked about this in the previous video too, there's a lot of minute changes that make a huge deal. Mm-hmm. When you're looking at the timeline of development, there's always going to be things on the cutting room floor. That's with any game. It's not specific to remasters. It's not specific to anything. Every game has cutting room floor. Well, they started doing it. They were looking at how they were going to do it, because the Mass Effect people might not realize that Mass Effect 3 multiplayer is available right now. Like, you can play it right now if you wanted to. And there was a lot of issues when they started like really diving deep into this of like, okay, how is this going to work? And they were looking at it and they were like, this is going to be a big project on its own, like separate from the remaster itself. This whole thing it's entirely separate project almost. And they were basically, it came down to, is this worth it? Do enough people care about this to make it worth it to potentially delay the release even more, which was a big thing to consider. But also there was a lot of other factors to consider as well. You know, we've got a new generation, and they were talking about, well, okay, so what do we do with the existing Mass Effect people? They have their Spectre packs and those crates they bought. Like, what do we do with them that are still playing? Do we do cross-play? Do we do cross-gen play? Do we have two separate servers? Like, there was a lot of aspects that went into it that they were just like, this is getting a little bit too complicated, and it's taking away from the bigger project, because the bigger picture is that Mass Effect Trilogy is a single player experience. The multiplayer only came in the third game, and a lot of people didn't like when it was introduced because the galactic readiness was reliant upon it. So if you wanted to get a good ending, you had to invest in the multiplayer. And a lot of people didn't like feeling pigeonholed within a single player experience. So they were looking at this and they were like, okay, we've got all the DLC, we've got all these amazing improvements. Do we want to delay this project to give multiplayer for something where not a lot of people want it? And I think those are the kind of decisions that are important, because there were a lot of false rumors out that it was going to be released March and February and January. And every time that was not true, people were upset. And, right now with social media and a lot of people are still in quarantine, people want instant gratification, and they know this, and they want to get it out. Like, when we were talking, Kim and I were talking to Matt Walters and Kevin Meek, they were brimming with excitement. Like, you could tell this was a passion project. And at the end of the day, a multiplayer component should not take precedence over a single player story. And that's the decision they made, to prioritize single player, which is what fans have been asking them to do for years. But Mac did mention honestly that it was kind of heartbreaking that they decided to leave it, because they enjoyed it, and they know the people that did enjoy it also really, really loved diving in as well. And
they definitely knew this was going to be a bummer, but as Liana was saying, like, this was for them a passion project that they wanted to see off the ground, and I think it really was about preserving Commander Shepard's story, giving people a way to play this to have an easy way to access it. And at the end of the day, you know, you get to how long and how much investment do you want to put into, and what battles. Mac said Walter said to us many times, it's like picking what battles you want to fight and how far you can go for it. And it's very difficult because I think, like with anybody, you want to include everything, but there comes this point where it's like, you know, if we do that, then we can't do this. And they just thought that, you know, the My Shepherd story. But I will say, as somebody who really liked that Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, I was bummed by it. Like,
Same.
I think of where I am right now with the quarantine, and I would love to be able to boot that up with my friends and have a fun social experience again. I mean, so many of my memories with Mass Effect 3 actually are playing that multiplayer with my friends. Like, it became this, and I'll tell you, I wasn't excited about multiplayer at all when I announced it. I was like, why are they doing this? But like, I spent so many nights bonding, and it became like a really powerful like thing that I associate with Mass Effect 3. So
Right,
it is
yeah.
hard to let that go, but I think they did. They had a lot of questions that needed to be answered with it, you know, of logistics, you know, getting everything up and running, and then, you know, as Liana said, trying to decide, well, how do you support that post launch, and how do you do the crossplay, and what about the people who are still playing? There's just so many things to consider with it, but it is a bummer to see it. Like I said, I would have loved to go back and you know, have that on there. You know, there
Yeah.
are ways for people to play it, but
Yeah, and I'm with you guys. It's one of those. It's in a category for me of like multiplayer games that I liked and was good at that never caught on. Like BioShock's 2 multiplayer, Gotham City Imposters. There's a couple of them that I was like, I'm good at this, but no one else is playing, so maybe that's why. But I like you guys said, that's the single player is so special and so meaningful that like I'm happy we're getting it. The last question I'll ask you guys is, did you get a sense, is this a permanent decision? Is it never coming, or is it just like not at launch type of thing?
I got the impression that it was never coming.
Okay.
I think if it did come, it would be a standalone release. I don't think it would be patched in.
Okay. Gotcha.
But I don't see them doing that because they're working on Anthem 2.0 is one team working. One team's working on Dragon Age 4, and that's very early on in development. So that's all hands on deck type thing. And there's a couple of other things that they're working on where the team is dispersed, that there's not enough of a return on Mass Effect multiplayer to justify pulling from those teams.
personally, I'd rather see them put those resources anyways to the next Mass Effect game, you know, when it comes down to it, which, like I said, we got that little teaser of, I know, very early in their process, but like, if that gets them working on that sooner, I'm
So be
okay
it.
with
Hell
that.
yeah. I'm with that. All right. Well, ladies, this has been a good talk. I know I appreciate a little bit more in-depth understanding of why this cut was made, and I hope the viewers at home do as well. So if you want more hype, want more excitement, like I know is brimming through our entire bodies, go check out our impressions videos, because we're excited for this. Like, this is not, we wanted to give an answer, right, to a question that seems to be boiling up, but like, this is a very good day for Mass Effect fans, and I hope you guys are all excited. To add to that excitement, please go check out online, GameInformer.com, GameInformer.com/ME Legendary, correct, is our content hub. That's where you're going to find the cover reveal, the cover story, like all of it. And these two did such an amazing job, and we're going to have exclusive stuff all month long. I cannot wait. It's going to be such a good time. So thank you for joining us. It's been our pleasure, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.